Call the meeting to order,
6:30 mark.
all right?
As always.
No, it's usually 6:32
Oh,
or
okay.
33. This is early.
I want to give everybody capability getting in here. Okay, first on the agenda, approval of minutes.
I'll make a motion to approve the Oak River Park and Rec Commission meeting minutes of December 11th, 2024.
Should I just make?
With the following correction, in section 8B, change Park to Clark Park.
Oh, a typo.
Yeah.
Just type.
Yeah. It's actually, it should be called
Clark Community Park.
Clark Community Park. Yeah. Amend my motion. We don't have to.
Okay, we
Because-
got a
I need a
motion on the
second.
floor.
And the only reason why, Jerry, because Clark Park is also Fireman's Field.
I know, yeah.
Yeah. For,
When I
to
send it
accept
to
the
you,
minutes,
come.
do we have a second?
You never, you're like, where are the minutes?
We have a second on the floor from Beth,
I started like,
That, you're not late, you're fine.
and,
well, you guys started.
we'll recognize Gina. 1 minute ago, you were just one, I tried to wait and then I got excited and decided to
All
go back.
right, tough crowd.
Jerry goes, you usually wait 1 more minute.
I know.
Thanks for
Sorry about that.
having me.
Okay,
You're
so we
welcome.
have a motion on the floor and a second. Any discussion? Hearing and seeing none. All in favor of accepting the minutes, say aye.
Aye.
Any nays? Any abstention? Okay, minutes passed. Next on the agenda is recognizing guests. Any guests?
There are none online.
No guests? Okay, any correspondence?
Well, I'm gonna bring it up in correspondence. I'm not sure it really is correspondence. Sue and I are going to meet with Nancy Moran from the Rotary Club. She had sent an email to us, for the committee rather, mid-December requesting the permission to put up a peace pole in the town green. I'm not sure exactly what a peace pole is, so before she comes to the commission or doesn't come to the commission, I'd like to meet with her to find out more about it. And we'll be meeting next week with her on Wednesday, the 15th at 1:30 in my office.
And she's.
She is just informing me now.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Send an email to her.
Is this,
I'm sorry,
she's from the Rotary, is that what you
she's
said?
the chairman of the Rotary Club. Yep.
There was something on Facebook, but I think I'll wait for her presentation.
I'm just really not sure what it is, truthfully.
Is it, would it be permanent or is it?
I don't
And
know.
again, we're gonna wait until, I don't wanna.
It might not even be appropriate. Who knows? So instead of having her just come to the commission, we like meet with her first, get all the ins and outs of it, and then kind of go from there.
Any other correspondence?
No.
Okay, moving along to review of bills.
Well, Science Ray, do we pay them on a monthly basis or
No,
a year?
there are a company that comes around and gets rid of our weeds in their fields, fertilizes all the good stuff. So it's usually a spring fall thing.
Okay. Twice a year, we're gonna
Yeah,
get a bill
pretty
for
much.
that.
Yeah. It's a contractual thing. You know, they give us what they are for the year. I say, yeah, we need that, and go from there.
December 6th. Last 3 digits, 505. What were the emergency repairs?
We had a couple leaks in the parks. One across the street where the water shut off was,
Okay.
it broke, brand new one. Then the other one was at Trask. The backflow preventer kind of blew up.
Oh. Oh, another time. Other questions, inquiries?
Were you asking about Old Saybrook PLU, Susan?
Yes, she
Yeah, it
was.
does.
That's Old
Yep.
Saybrook Plumbing.
Those three? Okay, plumbing.
Those weren't weather related, they just were related to something else.
Old Saybrook Plumbing.
No, the reason they broke or whatever, it was not a weather thing.
No, it wasn't. The backflow preventer, I have no idea. We've had a couple issues with backflow preventers, I don't know. Across the street, it seemed like a fitting. I just let loose. First time shutting it off, and I think it's just really pressure. I don't know. I'm just back and forth.
I wouldn't understand if you explained it to me,
Okay.
but it wasn't weather related.
It was not, no.
Any other inquiries? Moving to public comment, I don't see anybody up there. Move on to new business, beach pass policy discussion.
So it's January, it's freezing cold out, and we gotta talk about beach passes, which is awesome.
Absolutely.
So this is our policy. We go over this every year. This was last year's policy. And it's really up to you guys to change, switch, whatever you like to do with it. Mainly on here, we're talking about fees, which would be the permanent resident passes, what they are. And on the backside of that piece of paper would be the fees for Harvey's Beach, if you'd like to, adjust those in any way, shape, or form. This document through the years has been tweaked many different times with just different wording. As you can see, last year we went over all the stuff that was bolded out, just to make sure it's pretty informative to anyone who wanted these about where the pass should be affixed to and non-transferable and all that good stuff. The wording seems to go along with how we sell them. There are very, very few exceptions to the wording that we have in here. And I go on those on a case by case basis, so I'd say less than 10 a year are really don't fit into any of these categories. So we really can't make a new rule for them. So, but yeah,
It does seem like.
Ray, I have a question, Ray. I saw that, I read through that the other day. Do we have statistics on like how many non-resident passes, season passes that we sell and everything? Just
we do. So last year, without having it right directly in front of me, we sold, I want to say it was 70, somewhere around there. Maybe it was a little less.
Okay.
We buy 100 of them, so we sell out of them. It might have been a little less than that.
So somewhere around 100, 50 to 100.
Less than, yeah, I'd say in between 50 and 100 we sell season passes to Harvey's, yes.
Okay. Yeah, I had no idea. Just curious.
As far as the fees go at Harvey's Beach, I will say this. This is the second season we had them at 15 and 25. It seems to work out fine. We don't have any complaints truthfully at all. They shouldn't be complaining anyway, but the parking lot is certainly filled up. If we charged $100 on a July 4th weekend that's really hot, we're still going to fill up no matter what. So I just don't. If you looked at other places around close to us, we are definitely cheaper than everyone. But for what we do, I think it fits our needs, and change wise for me, it's very good. We have to do a lot of ones. Now, that's not, this does not have to be voted on tonight. If you guys don't want to vote on this tonight and we want to do some more research about other fees around closer to us and make a decision that way, you can certainly do that. I'm just saying the 25 and the 15 has seemed to work out the last couple of years. And we brought in 119,000, I believe. We grossed at Harvey's last summer.
If we were looking at raising it, I would say raise it to 20 and 30. I wouldn't raise it to some weird number.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yep.
And
And I'll also say this, we get taxed now in the state of Connecticut for parking there. So it's just,
We have to pay sales tax?
we
Is
do
that
have to pay sales tax on
Okay.
parking there. So
Okay.
you increase the number, we also have to increase the more we get to the
Well,
city.
Well,
I'm just
but-
saying, that's,
but-
it's a real thing.
But there's more in our pocket.
Correct.
I mean, at the end of the day, there's more in our pocket.
Yeah.
Um,
That was a rule that the state came out, the state came up with like 4 years ago.
mhm.
Any municipal parking lot gets taxed now.
So 2 years ago is when you went up? What
I
was
believe
it?
So,
What was it before?
it was 20,
And
I think it was 20 and 10, 20 or 12, 20 and 12, I think it was.
So,
12.
We also switched it from the $12 being, it used to be Monday through Friday. And the weekend rate was only Saturday and Sunday and holidays. So we changed that to Friday, Saturday, and Sunday and holidays, which seemed to make a little bit of difference.
In terms
And
of
it's
we get more revenue in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
since we've gone,
Fridays are busy now.
and
and
since we've gone up, it hasn't discouraged, we still have about the same amount of visitors.
I'd say so, yeah. Absolutely.
You know,
Again, we'll be filled up on a busy holiday weekend, like this year, 4th of July is on a Friday. If it's gonna be nice, it's gonna be filled up no matter what.
Mm.
So,
I'd hate to raise it so soon after the last raise. And we really haven't done that much to improve Harvey's, other than the interior. I mean, the parking is still problematic when we have duck ponds there.
it's a problem when it rains, for sure.
So if we're gonna raise it, I would like to be able to show our visitors and residents that, they're getting good things for the buck because we're doing more things. My own personal, anybody else?
I mean, I do think $15 is pretty cheap, for a day at a beautiful beach. It is a beautiful beach. I wouldn't object to raising it to going up to 20 and 30. But if you guys want to give it another year,
How about
I just feel
25 and 20? Is that too close of a gap?
leave the weekend rate at 25 and then
And
raise
during
the other one
during
to
the
20.
to 20?
And are you gonna raise those, yearly, season passes then? About the same then, percentage wise? I'm just wondering, what is, a lot of people that come to use Harvey's, I believe, when I used to work there were repeat customers, right? Just a lot of people come and use it multiple times. So what is that dollar value if you go up $20 and it's $150 for the season pass? It really incentivizes somebody that's coming 4 or 5 times to pretty much just buy the pass instead.
If you come 6 times on a weekend day, that you paid for your season pass.
Yeah.
So it's if you only go on the weekends, and we only have really 8 or 9 weekends in the summer. So that are really worthwhile to go, because June and May are.
Yeah. So if you go up on our daily, then we would probably have to go up the same percentage on the season pass.
I don't think we have to. I know, in an amusement park, it's usually like, for a Six Flags season pass, you go 3 times, it makes sense to buy a season pass, So I think for people who are gonna come here that often, they'd almost have to live in the area and they're gonna buy it, and we will,
One thing we-
I feel like that would be families who are coming, and I
Yeah.
wouldn't necessarily want to overburden people who want to be really recurring users, but I think $15, I mean, you can't get a hamburger in town, like.
Yeah, I'm just thinking of it from the perspective and incentivizing the people that actually come and use and appreciate, and they come multiple times, incentivize them versus, the random daily person.
Well, I think by leaving it cheap is.
Yeah, we incentivize it. Yep.
Yeah. So I'm all for leaving the 150 for people who are, people who love Old Saybrook and want to spend a lot of time here. I think that's fantastic. But I think getting, even if we just did the Monday through Thursday at $20, I think people won't blink at that.
It's
You know?
easy. It's
It's-
an easy.
there's
it's
a
actually
easy
easier.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's an easy bill, yeah.
Yeah.
And then it's less work for, the people dealing with it. I mean, you still gotta do the 25 for the weekends, but
I feel like everything is so expensive now. Wouldn't it be nice to keep things inexpensive?
It is, but I mean, I think at some point, you know, I don't know, but I mean, the place gets busy, right? And you don't want it full all the time. So if you have people that are, just gone for the season pass and are, using it more than they probably would because they bought the season pass, right? Then the facility just becomes overloaded pretty much all the time, which discourages a lot of people from even thinking about coming.
if we're paying lifeguards pretty nice fee, pretty nice rates and the parking attendants, pretty nice rates to work. So, it's, there's no way if we were a private organization that was trying to make money, would you do it for $15? We're not,
No, we're not.
but,
No.
know,
So do you recall the year we went up to, I want to say it was 35 and 25? It was a year that we did, that was pre-COVID.
Yeah, it was pre-COVID. I
And
think.
we had so much pushback from back then,
Yeah,
going up to 35.
and especially,
It was actually bad.
they were saying, what am I getting for that additional, you're making.
Who's doing the pushback? It would be non-residents?
Yeah,
Yeah, it was anyone who wanted to go there, because at the time, we were, I would say, one of the highest at round.
yeah, we were, it was
And we
before I
made
was
a pretty
chairman,
big jump.
but
We made a
it
pretty
did.
big jump that
Because
year.
for the longest time, it was 750.
Oh, yeah.
oh,
I mean,
okay.
really,
Oh my gosh.
I mean, we just kept going 750, and then we said.
And then we went to $10.
Yeah, and then it jumped
Yeah.
to, 15. But, I don't mind the 20, I just kind of trying to balance it out to make sure that, when we walk into saying, oh, they raised their price, and they look at parties and what's being offered there, that it looks like we're actually, um,
I know during the week, people definitely go there during the week. They'll take a Monday off or whatever to go to Harvey's because it's cheaper than any other state beach, other beach that charges around, which is good because then we get people there.
Yeah.
Mondays and Tuesdays are usually not extremely busy there.
Well, the state beach is free now? Or like,
If you're not a resident, you have to
Right.
pay. So if you come from Massachusetts, you get a lot of phone calls from Massachusetts to come down, they have to pay. But yeah, you're correct.
Now, when you say free, I think they built that cost into your driver's
Your
license.
registration.
renewal.
Yeah.
Yes, free. So are you
And
saying,
for a long time, people thought Harvey's was state beach.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Told them it's not. I mean,
so you're saying, $20 for the off-peak and $30 for the weekends?
So, I mean, I think we could just go to $20 for the Monday through Thursday and leave the weekend as it is. I mean, yeah, our operating expenses are, well, actually, they're probably lower Monday. I don't know if you have to staff as much.
That's very similar and they're gonna
Yeah.
get the same pay raise.
Yeah, you gotta have those lifeguards out there no matter what. So,
you make a good point, I mean, by state law, the hourly wage has to go up.
it's gone up a lot the last.
That's what everybody else is raising their rates to.
Minimum wage
Not bad.
just went up to 16.35. That will carry through the summer for our youngest of lifeguards, right? Our older lifeguards will not be getting that. They'll be getting.
Experience.
My question would be, Ray, during the week, is it full a lot of times? I don't go to the beach on the.
Monday through,
During the
Monday,
week,
Tuesday,
but-
Wednesday, no.
Okay,
Thursday, it definitely gets busier. Friday is a busy day, Saturday, Sunday, busy days. Not saying there's no one there, just saying it's 3/4 of a full parking lot, half full parking lot Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, as opposed to, it depends on the day, obviously, 95 degrees, people going there no matter what. A normal 80-degree, beautiful day, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, people are at work,
And usually it's the key hours, 11 to 2.
since we're talking about non-residents here, do you have any data for, usually when it's full, 75% of the lot is Old Saybrook residents versus the 25 for non-residents?
Data, we have very limited data on how many residents do go there. There are residents that go there. They like it better than Palm Beach. I would
Something.
say,
Something.
right, if we just gauge that 100 people that go to Harvey's on a daily basis, I'd say 10% of that is 10 people would be town residents.
10% is town residents, the other 90 would be, town, okay.
But they, I mean, their passes, their beach pass gets like free.
Right, yeah. Well, the other thing is, I mean, if we raise the, price here as we're discussing, and we find that, you know, people are pushing back, or not as many people are visiting, that makes it less cost effective, we can always come back and change the rate mid-season if we wanted to,
You could.
unless you have it posted in Black ink somewhere.
Well, I mean, the only thing I have to do is change signs.
So,
Or we
what
can
is like,
talk about season, see how that goes.
what does Ocean Beach charge? Do you know?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I will say, I do notice, Rocky Neck being closed a lot, you know,
They were
like,
closed a lot
I mean,
last year.
lot full on the
Yes.
I-95,
Yeah.
Most
you know.
And they actually shut down, besides that, they shut down like 5 times due to high bacteria. We
Yeah.
did not.
Yeah.
And we shut down maybe 3 times, I want to say. 2 or 3 times.
It wasn't, I think it was off peak that we had shut down too. It wasn't a key weekend.
And one of them was Fridays.
And sometimes when you test, how often you test? And Rocky Neck might be testing every day. I don't
We
know.
test every day.
Oh, you do? Okay. Oh,
Every
good.
day.
Okay, that's good to know. It's like, well, if you don't test, it's not a
Let's get
riddle.
A consensus here? Do you want to raise the prices? Do you want to think about this until next month or?
I mean, I'd like to look at what other places are charging and see if they've gone up this year too, because, you know, once you go up, you set the tone, with people that come down, and even if you want to come back down in pricing, they're never going to come back to realize that we came back down. I just don't want to disincentivize and start losing people because we went up, you know, 20%.
I'm all for going to the next closest 10 or 12 places,
Okay,
finding out their rates and bringing it, reporting back. I mean, it's always a good exercise to do that anyway.
Yeah.
And they might be in the midst of thinking about what they're gonna charge this summer as well. So,
and that's what we'll do. We won't make a decision this month. We'll bring it up on the agenda next month.
yeah, I can bring it back. I mean, you want to
Yeah.
discuss the town beach passes? I mean, you guys good with those fees?
I have a much bigger problem raising the town
Thank
beach
you for
prices.
saying that.
Yeah. I think it's a fantastic value, but you know,
Yeah, I
it's
agree
our
with that.
town beach, you know?
I think we're here for the citizens of Old Saybrook, so we want them to come more than anybody else.
We always get the people that come in, I remember when it was $4. You know.
Is that Nancy and Rob?
I think I remember it being 10.
I remember charging 4. We had cards that people had to fill out.
Yeah,
It
yeah,
was $4.
absolutely. Although I never did because I rode my bike.
And I will say, as a mom of young parents, as a mom of young kids, I was blown away. It was like, this is the best thing going. I mean, $10, I can get a peanut butter and jelly sandwich or a grilled cheese for $2. Like,
Yeah.
it was crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't make a grilled cheese for that.
I still go down to Town Beach for their hamburgers. Their cheeseburgers are really good. I think it's
Yeah.
because they're 95% fat, but that's okay.
80/20s, Rob, 80/20s.
That's why they taste so good.
Yeah, I mean, I love that, you know, so let's,
I'm all for keeping those fees too. I mean, that's the easiest thing. And
So we have a consensus here. We don't want to.
I guess so. Wait to see what the competitors are doing.
you can do that. Works for me.
All right. Is there anyone who has a suggestion on the policy itself? Do we need any
I don't think I can
wordsmithing?
I don't think I can change this again.
We've done it for a while.
I think we've gone over this a few
For so
times
many
before.
times.
I know, but I do believe it's better than what it was when we started.
100%.
You know, this is
100%,
actually
but
good because
I think.
Star and Nancy are here as well to vote on it, so maybe
Yeah.
it's good for them to be here next.
Yeah.
Do that.
Mhm. Okay, So we can move this to, next month's agenda. Any other business regarding programs, facilities and personnel?
No, I have none.
Old business, ballpark review.
Really, the only thing to report is it's cold and we are making ice. So Exchange Club drilled out at 3 inches today. Hopefully we'll get to our magical number of 5 so we can allow skating on it. People have already been skating on it, but for us to allow it, it's gotta get to 5. So, we'll see where it goes this weekend.
Who does that? Billy's team?
Correct. Yep. They drill it daily. We posted on the board that's there with the date, how many inches is there, so they have an idea of the thickness of it for themselves.
Where
I was just asking about that recently because a lot of guys from Lee Company go there for lunch hour and they play a little game of hockey.
Yeah. 3 inches is, I wouldn't call it safe, but you can certainly walk on it. But for us, 5 is where we want to be.
where are they taking the sample from? The middle or?
Well, they try to go out as far as they can, obviously.
Yeah.
It's a little iffy. Jade, it's a little iffy sometimes when you go out there and you hear the ice cracking.
Yeah. Go back.
Yeah, so they'll drill one spot and then they'll try to get to another spot.
Okay.
It's more than one hole they're drilling.
Okay.
Now,
The
when
good thing is
when
we
we're,
don't have an outlet.
we're
so-
officially open, Ray, do you man it in any
Try
way?
to,
Okay, I wasn't sure if there was an attendant on duty.
if I can get someone, yes.
Okay.
But it's skate at your own risk. I mean,
It really is. We used to have fires out there.
Yeah, I remember a bonfire.
We had the light on for night stuff and
The light's still there, does it work?
yeah, it works. It's just not turned on.
There's a little fireplace there too, isn't there?
Or 55-gallon drum.
No, it's actually, it's an actual
It's a little,
rocked fireplace, yeah. But yeah, hopefully we get some ice skating. They haven't had it here, so.
now, the sign that's there is way underneath that coniferous tree, I think it's the pine.
Which
And it's
sign?
looking pretty bad of the exchange club, of when, who donated it and how it came to be.
Brand new blue sign.
No, that's out by the street, right?
Oh, the one out by 154. Yeah, that sign never got changed out.
And then I think there's a little plaque on the rock or a post that is from the exchange club.
Seems to me.
I'll take a picture. I'm just gonna take a picture of that.
The one out front, the other brown sign though, that was omitted overtly. What did the quote? It's one of those signs you don't really see all the time.
That might be the one I'm thinking of.
Yeah. No, it should be changed out.
Strategic plan.
So last month you guys agreed on a concept, which is concept 3. I've been in discussion with Jeff about that concept. Person that is working on that concept with him is, her name is Terry. We just haven't connected yet through the holidays to discuss it further. Hopefully we have a little bit more next month. I will say this, there are a few grants floating out there from DEP to do projects such as this. One that just got circulated around, there's 2 due dates for submission, which is June and September. And they award from $300,000 up to $15 million. So hopefully we can get some of this rolling to have a submission for this particular grant.
Who would be working on that?
That's Jeff's office first. We need to get the concept down, and then we'll get a grant writer in to write the grant to do that. But we need to have all
Our
the
concept.
all the drawings done first, so. But the good thing about that grant, it's a rolling grant, so it's usually year to year. Submission might be different every year. This one happens to be June or September. If you miss the June one, you can apply in September.
I mean, what do we think? Can we get it in? I mean,
It'll be close. It'll be close. We're gonna try
for
Yeah.
June.
either one, June or September.
Okay, well, let's try for June.
No, I know. I mean,
We'll go for June and if needed.
I mean, that's 6 months away, so who knows what she can get done with it, so.
What's the qualifications for the grant? Does it have to be a specific activity?
Improvements to a park. No, it's just improvements to a park, and you had to have originally used land, federal money on it, which was land, watershed, and something else, which we did way back in the day to buy that park. So, yeah.
I mean, you know, when you look at it, you know, step back and look at the facilities that are there and how long they've been, you know, like the playground, I mean, I just feel like we should have a really good chance,
Yeah, I
you
mean,
know?
who knows how many towns apply for it, how many
Right.
people apply for it.
No,
Yeah,
I agree.
That's
It's
why,
gonna-
that's why I asked what qualifications, because I mean, grants, everybody's gonna apply for it, right? It's free money, so, but there should be some stipulations
Match.
to it.
There's a match grant, which the town will have to match the portion that we get granted for. But, you know, we would say it's a $4 million project. We say we're trying to get 2 million of it and we match the other two. So we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, I don't want to be naive, but I just feel like, all right, how many, you know, it's been a long time since we've had you can't even call it a playground there, you know? I wouldn't.
No, it's not.
But there was a
There was a
swing,
concrete pipe.
and swings, and, you know, there were things that were intended to be a playground back in the 70s, I guess, or 60s, I don't even
That
know.
was the biggest swing set in the world.
Yeah.
Did you ever see it?
Yeah.
It must have been 25 feet high, that swing set.
So, I mean, I just feel like, you know, for that, like, we're talking about, you know, a community facility that's needed change. And I feel like that bodes well for us.
Well, we're gonna push forward. I've already ran it by Carl with grant stuff, so
Great.
like, let's go for it. So.
A question on that, on the municipal part of matching fund. If we were to get another grant, could we use that's given to the town of Old Saybrook, could we use that money to pay?
What money are you talking about?
Well, there's a possibility of having another grant from a different organization, private organization looking for improvement in parks and things. And if we get that grant, could we use that money to pay?
I don't know what the stipulations of that grant is, or this is the first I've heard of it, so.
Well, hopefully you're going to be getting the information that I received at a show in the mail soon.
Okay.
All right. Main Street Park discussion?
Nothing new on that. We'll just wait for the weather to get longer. Set a date for.
Okay, so we're still looking forward to a ribbon cutting.
Oh yeah, I'd like April, if not May, when it's you can go out there without a jacket.
Hmm.
Unless you guys want to go out next month.
Are there bocce groups around that we could invite? You know?
I don't know.
I
There's-
raised
there
my
are-
eye to a bocce person here.
There's a lot. I used to play in a couple of Italian society bocce leagues. But there's a few ones, and they actually, you know, rotate and challenge each other around. So, you know, if we develop a league, you know, have our own team, you can compete against these different entities, which is kind of cool.
That'd be fun. Get it all going.
Yeah, I'm super excited about it.
And I think it'd be good, you know, maybe when we have the opening, have some
Groups.
groups there, you know, at least
Yeah.
some representation, and maybe see if they, you know, they can do a little demonstration or something like that. That'd be very photogenic with people there and bocce balls. Hoopla.
For that.
Some hoopla.
Reserve update?
The CMC committee met December 19th,
What's that again?
the cooperative management committee.
Cooperative, okay.
And at that particular meeting, they accepted the forest management plan. which was a key factor in moving forward with anything else that needs to get done, which is a whole heck of a lot of things in the preserve. That was step one of probably 20 steps. So we will be moving forward with the public use plan, which will be next to get worked on. And that public use plan will have trail plans in it, along with accepted uses and things of that nature. So I'll be working with the state of Connecticut DEEP with creating that plan along with the ad hoc committee. And hopefully we'll have something in place within a year. So that's the goal.
It's a slow process, but we're trying to speed it up. 10 years almost.
10 years
Really?
to get that
10
plan.
years.
Wow.
It's been 10 years since we bought the property, and we finally have a forest management plan, which was required when we bought the plan,
It's part of
Preserve.
the memorandum of
Yeah.
understanding we had to sign. So, yeah. It's interesting on how the state levels. You have to answer to all the state levels when it looks simple to us when we first started. We have Will Hockhauser for the state, we have Carl for the town, let's get this going, and unfortunately, he had to educate us on the different levels that we have to own everything.
Yeah.
I really love it to be a little simpler. And I think hopefully this next part won't be as long, because we've done a lot of surveys that the next part is already needed. So those are done, we don't have to wait for them anymore. Yeah, our work is good enough for us.
there's a lot to it, but like Sue said, there's so many documents now associated with the preserve. This next part should be a little bit easier to figure out where trails should, could, can't go. Due to the studies that have been done, the mechanical studies,
Yeah.
the vernal pool study, all that stuff that says, you know, these are buffered zones. We don't want a trail to go through the middle of the vernal pool anymore. So, those will help out.
And that's going to be probably one of our biggest headaches as on the road. Because as we have to educate the people, you just can't go in and make that trail, or you can't use that trail that you used before.
Yeah, that'd
It's
be hard.
very, very hard. I mean,
Yeah.
at our last meeting, I think 5 years ago, we had 20 unauthorized trails. And now it's over 30. And
Walking, those are hiking trails versus,
they
the
could be
bikers
biking,
are-
they can be hiking, they can be unauthorized vehicles in there. I don't usually, I don't remember having any trouble with equestrian use in there. But there's a need for speed on some of our organizations, and they're getting bored using the same old trail. Well, I'm sorry, the geography of the land has not changed. I can't change that geography. And that's part of the problem. But our biggest thing is going to be education
yeah, I
and
think that's
control.
key, is education.
And
I
we
don't
have
think
to get people used to the idea that there is going to be restrictions.
Mhm.
I'm sorry, I'm glad you were able to go in and do whatever you wanted when no one had any real control over it. But now you have to learn. You can't do that.
Well, and that's part of the education piece. So that, I think when people understand why, they buy into it, a lot more than just,
And you have to
Yeah.
keep feeding that out there. You can't just suddenly
And
one day.
we're trying to accommodate everybody. We're not saying you can't ride your bikes in there, you can't ride
Yeah.
your horses in there. Although, I know ATVs are not,
Motorized vehicles are not allowed.
Yeah.
The question comes with motorized vehicles is electric bikes.
Yeah,
So,
because they are also pedal powered.
Yeah.
so they're allowed in most state parks, so they'll be allowed, but any ATV, motorcycle.
Yeah, and we just have to be diligent and every time. Keep feeding the public more and more information, more education. Getting them to realize that this isn't something new. We've been working on this and that these rules are.
Right.
They need to be.
And hunting's a ways off, right? I mean,
I would say it's a ways off, but it's not gonna happen now, and it probably will not happen in the fall.
okay.
I don't know what you mean by ways, but it's gonna happen,
Not this year.
not this year.
I would imagine you don't wanna put a whole bunch of signs out there in the wilderness saying, you know, don't go this way, don't go that way, but maybe we'd have to consider updating the maps that we,
All the
Oh,
maps
yeah.
will definitely be updated,
Yeah.
and we'll close off trails with natural topography out there.
okay.
So we'll
that's
drag
good.
in brush that nearby, logs that are falling down, and you'll make it a natural look
Okay,
to it.
good.
Some of those trails might need to be rehabilitated to, so they can grow again.
Yeah.
Right, but for the most part, they'll just be all natural stuff out there.
There'll be a lot of small signs saying area closed, restoration, things like that. Try to let people know that.
Yeah, we were talking about educating the public, so, you know, all the public entries, like at the parking lots or the entrances to the park itself. We could have large signage there, and I know they've got the handout maps that you can pick up at each of those entrances too.
And then, you know, what people are using so much more now are the apps. You know,
Yes.
we're making sure the apps are
And so.
up to date.
Well, that's a hard one because there are a lot of private people who create an app and they will put in those unauthorized 30 trails.
There's a
And then
biking
people
app
have
that
that app and,
they've created the trails that they've created, and they've named those trails.
yeah,
And
they actually
we're
have.
like, you can't do that. So,
And that's part of the education process. And as we identify those apps, we might be able to tell people, these are unauthorized apps. The information there is not correct. But whether they follow that. Any other business regarding programs, facilities, and personnel?
I'll just say programming wise, winter basketball started this week. Practices started, the first games are Saturday. It'll be a 7-week program. Basketball.
Doesn't sound like basketball.
They just had a practice. We're at 6 o'clock.
You can have dodgeball.
We'll have adult dodgeball and kickball coming up in January.
Before I go into chairman's report, I'm gonna take a moment here and ask our commissioner. Is there anything that you would like us to look at going forward? This is our first meeting of the year. So what are you thinking of, or would you like us to look into? And
When you say us, you mean me, Sue? When you say us.
I'm referring to.
Oh, okay, everyone, okay.
The proverbial us.
I would like to see us, make the strategic plan part of our, meetings a little bit more. I'd like to go through it as a commission and see what all we've accomplished, because I think we've accomplished some great things and be able to kind of give an update maybe to the public, to let them know, you know, what's been done, what's taken longer than we thought, what's costing more than we thought, what's costing less than we thought, what we're changing,
Were you a part of the commission when we approved it?
no.
In fact, you weren't either.
You weren't either, and I don't think Rob.
Rob, you weren't either. I don't think.
So I think that's an excellent suggestion. I think we should have it.
I think in the.
Yeah. I think I gave it to you. Do you have it?
It's online. I mean, you know,
Get the actual physical copy though.
I don't think I have my own copy of
Okay.
it, but that was one of the first things that,
Sure.
you know, I was like, it was still pretty recent when I came on
Yeah,
board.
yeah.
But, I just think, you know, for things that we've done, I think we need to brag about them and
Sure.
talk about them and for things that are in there that might be slam dunks that we've kind of tabled or what, you know, I just think it really, as a commission, going through it, you know, it won't be a short meeting, it'll probably be a longer meeting, and maybe we need to have a special meeting, I don't know. But I would like to see us make that, I feel like as commissioners, we need to be spending more time on strategic plans and less time on day-to-day going through I'm not saying that's not, something that we need to weigh in on, but I feel like we can be a more effective group, at a higher level than, you're handling the day-to-day.
Your charge as a commission is for, it's not the day-to-day activities, it's for the parks. So,
Right.
You're right on that. And I guess complacency on my part, the commission has had pretty much similar members on it for a lot of years, and I guess I just assumed, I don't know why I assumed it, that you had all the strategic plan.
No, I don't think having it changes anything. I think we need to talk about it in the mission. That's what
So,
I'm bringing to the table is that we have a lot of great discussions and it's, but it's one of those things like, what's the most important thing that we accomplish as a commission? It's not setting what the parking rates are gonna be. It's not, because if we weren't here, you could make a decision and life would be totally fine.
but I also think for the strategic plan though, because the commission, I think prior to you getting on it, voted to start town park part of the strategic plan first, and that's still ongoing. So the other ones that were in there were said, and Sue back me up on this if I'm wrong, those are gonna be later on in life. So Clark Park was gonna be the first one to focus on,
Right.
which we're still focusing on. Maybe that's why we haven't really talked much about
Well,
strategic.
Well, I think what you bring to, the way I hear it is, I think this is a perfect example of and I think a special meeting would be good. Just to go over the strategic plan and for us to decide going forward, these are the emphasis that we want to do. This is the money that we have available, and also to review the recent monies that were put aside for park and rec use and for capital gains and so on. I think that's an excellent thing, and I don't think it's harmful, and I think just a special meeting, that way we can do our normal stuff coming up, because I think in March, we're gonna have policy coming up and a couple of other things that we usually do in February, March timeframe.
Yeah, it's a good point because I've gone through the strategic plan many times, but I've never really, analyzed it for all the activities going on at each, and if there's overlap or if there's lacking one or two, or it would be nice to go through that as a group, I guess, and everybody get really intimate and familiar with it. But I also, being new to the commission, just want to better understand the where the funding's coming from, how much the town is actually backing, I know you told me a long time ago before I was on the commission, Ray, that Clark Community Park was going to be the focus, the first focus on that strategic plan. So, but I don't have a clear understanding where the money's coming from, or, what we have to still fight for from the Board of Finance.
exactly.
Sure.
Yep.
So that's a good point. And
Yep.
so I think your suggestion, and I'll work with Ray and we'll come up with a date for a special meeting, just to go over.
Or we can do it. I don't necessarily, I'm not trying to create more meetings for our commission. But
Well, I think
No, this is an important one though, Jane. It's really important.
I think it's very important. That's why I just don't, I want to make sure that if we schedule something, please make sure that we check everybody's schedule and that we can attend, because I've got some
Absolutely.
trips coming up and I'd be really upset if I missed it.
Yeah.
And right now, they're not, I schedule around, I mean,
Yeah.
Well, if you
No.
want to do it at a regular scheduled meeting
yeah,
and simply talk about the strategic plan, that can be done
right,
per the agenda,
right.
and that certainly can
Well,
be an agenda.
let's get started in Nancy and on this, and we'll come up with a consensus that's suitable for everyone.
In terms of when we do it.
Yep, when we do it, how and what format, whether we do it
Okay.
An hour before our normal meeting,
Mhm.
or, maybe we do it a couple of times. before our
Right, yeah,
normal
yeah,
meeting.
that's fine.
But we can.
Make sure it's not
we
an
can
hour
get that
after.
going.
No,
No, I'm thinking prior.
Yeah.
But I think it's good because you probably would like a history of, we call this phase one and then
Yeah.
phase two. And what were we thinking of at the time, and do we need to?
And I thought the bocce courts were part of that strategic plan, so they were not.
No,
Okay, I thought they were.
no, that was part of
That
what to
was
do with
phase
Main
one and
Street
two.
Park.
Yeah.
I mean, for a complete understanding, we even go back to the town surveys that we had.
Hmm.
Most of the town residents fill out, and this is your priority, and everybody was asked, or when they took the survey, was asked, what's important to you? What would you like to see in the future?
And that's in the plan, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is,
Yeah,
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 all that. thing-
So-
When it's all documented.
yeah, but it will give you a better understanding and I agree with you. We should do it, and we should do it anyway as a normal process for anything that's going on so
Years
many
now,
years.
at least.
yeah, that's why I'm,
Yeah.
that, and it's on here and we talk about it and it's kind of become this
Ambiguous
enigma.
area.
Yeah,
Well,
like,
you think about
I
the
mean, to a
process in
certain-
general, it's
Yeah.
been simply almost 8 months to get the concept plan going.
Yeah,
And that's the reality of projects at some point in time when they're brand new.
it took 3 to 5 years just to get the finance committee
I know.
to at least let
I
us
know.
have it.
right, but what I always hear good things from from Carl, from the Board of Selectmen and the Board of Finance. I feel like they're very supportive. I feel like we have not run up against
No, and that is,
any
that is a,
town roadblocks. It's more,
it is so refreshing to have
Yeah,
that happen now,
absolutely.
at this time frame.
Yeah.
Because I know Ray and I have been butting heads for a long time, and I couldn't understand the project for it, but right now, let's actually
YouTube been.
use this way.
Okay.
One of the biggest comments was we were for a finance committee meeting, and one of the finance people turned to us and said, Susan, do you ever talk to Ray? And I was like, I'm looking at him, and I'm looking at them, and I'm looking at them, and I thought, for the first time, I was dumbfounded. And I think I mumbled something like, well, I think I meet with you almost every Monday. And then I turned around and said, do you really ask that of the superintendent and the Board of Education? Do you ask the superintendent if they speak to the Board of Education? And then Carl said, well, let's move on.
Yeah.
Because I was
That's
like,
awkward.
I was like, yeah, is all I can say. All right, that was on record. Oops, sorry. Going on to the chairman's report then. I met with the CMC and they did agree with a report that I gave earlier on the preserve. And there wasn't much other meetings going on really that I attended, so that's a quick report. Director's report.
2 important dates that you have to put on your calendar for this month. Saturday, January 25th is a special Board of Finance meeting, which I'll be presenting the Park Rec budget. We do that every year on a Saturday. The library goes at 9 o'clock. The meeting starts at 9 o'clock. They usually go first. Generally by 9:45, 10 o'clock on. So it is Zoom capabilities. You want to do that
Oh,
just to support the,
can I do that from Puerto Rico?
yeah, absolutely.
Oh, okay. I love that.
Just to support the budget if there's any questions that may arise in those meetings Sue's talked about. So that's the first date. The second date, which is going to be January 18th, this Saturday prior to that, at 11 o'clock, we have a meeting. It's actually a program. It'll be at the Vicky Duffy Pavilion at 11 o'clock, and we are bringing together all of the groups in town that have anything to do with open space. And at that particular meeting, we will be simply presenting all the open space that we have in town, and it's different groups that represent that open space. And we are looking to have the public there so they are A, educated on the space that we have, and B, we're looking for stewards to help with the land. So we have a lot of property as a town. We have about 1,500 acres of open space that is going to be contiguous at some point in time with trails. And we really do not have any stewardship plans in place for those lands. So it's a big property, big piece of property. We are working with the Land Trust, Conservation Commission on this particular thing. Save Our Shade will be there. A few
Excuse
groups.
me, Isn't that at 10 o'clock and not 11?
Did I say 11?
You did.
I said
It's at 10. Yeah.
What day is it? Sorry.
Saturday.
Saturday,
January 18th,
10 o'clock.
10 o'clock.
There's hot chocolate too.
There's hot chocolate, so
There is.
obviously
Bring
you
your
guys
own
get the
cup.
words, which is good. But
If you want.
Bring
It's-
your reusable mug.
it's
Bring
important
your
to
own
know,
cup.
some of the lands that we have in town and not just what we have. So, it should be a good
Sorry,
little
missed
time.
And where are you guys congregating?
The pavilion.
It's
So
at
then-
the pavilion.
At Clark Park or?
No, no.
No, downtown.
Vicky Duffy.
Vicky, okay,
At the
okay.
point, yeah.
Yeah, I'll miss that.
Well, we hope to have another one going up.
It should be moving forward, it's time.
Yeah.
It's time. We have a lot of different things going on, so. And lastly, for my director's report, I'm gonna meet with, Carolyn live with the Save Our Shade. She's also on the tree committee.
Mhm.
She's representing the tree committee at this particular meeting. I'm meeting with her tomorrow. The tree committee is looking at getting a grant to do a tree inventory in town. And she asked me if, we would like to be a part of that, to take a tree inventory in all the town parcels. So I'm gonna meet with her, get a little bit more information on that and what that entails. And that would be every one of our parks, get a tree inventory.
Is that what the gentleman that was here last time was talking about? Did this has come up
Similar,
before?
I think it was similar, it wasn't,
But I
it
don't know.
wasn't
if that
particularly about a grant they're applying for, but he was just letting us know that that's what they're trying to do.
Okay.
So I said, we have a lot of different parcels and a lot of different trees, so, hopefully it goes well, we'll see where it goes and
When you say immigrant, are they gonna count them all and identify them?
count them all and identify them.
Just say we got a lot of elms over here and a lot of maples over
It
there.
would be counting all our trees and identifying all our trees.
Okay.
A lot of it can be done.
There needs to be
by-
an app for that.
Yeah, but I know they want to do the streets first, all the streets in Ontario
Right.
first. And, then they would like to do a lot of our parks that are into the center of town, things like that.
Let's do
Well,
every
see,
park.
definitely, I know, but unfortunately, I don't think their grant's gonna allow
I
that,
don't think
but,
so either, that's why I'm.
but she said they would come back again and ask for another grant if they can't include, all of our parks. But they might be able to include some of the, ones closer to the center of town.
I think it'd be great, even some of our smaller parks, go to Gardner's Landing,
Absolutely.
there's 40 trees in there, I bet, and what their species are and things like that, I think it'd be great to have.
And to find out which ones are invasive,
Yeah,
which ones
well,
that you
sure,
really
yeah.
can't have. Or shouldn't have, I should say. And that's part of it too. And some of them, which ones are you gonna earmark that, are destined for disease? I know that sounds horrible, but there are some trees more prone to certain diseases than others, so if there's a chance of, replacing those with a different species of tree, then that would give you the groundwork for that.
Did you get the impression, Ray, of what their main idea was? I mean, they're trying to say this area of Old Saybrook doesn't have enough of these type of trees. And
No, I
we're
think
going
the
to
tree
plant some.
committee in general just wanted to get an inventory of all the trees in town.
It's a good thing to have. I'll give you an example because Town Park, well, pretty much the entire state and the Northeast, there's beech leaf disease and beech bark disease. And if you look at some parcels of land around the state and including Town Park, there's a plethora of beech trees, which the state I've worked with, or I've talked to and met with one of the arborists there, and they said within the next 7 to 10 years, we're going to lose like 80% of beech trees. So it's nice to know from an inventory perspective of, yeah, is there something we can do to incentivize, growth of other trees, and that includes sometimes, clearing some of those older dead trees for these younger ones that are going to thrive. Town Park, we have a really mature forest there. And if you look at some of those areas where the beech trees are, it's desolate. It's pretty much just all beech. It would be nice to think about introducing some other species there. I mean, it's a natural cycle, just like we've used different woods for construction, through the centuries, from elm, oak, pine, and everything else. But yeah, I think it's a great thing to start thinking about, and in that inventory's perspective.
That's all I have.
There was one. That's the distinction, so I'll go away. Any liaison report? Nobody? Okay. Anybody else has a idea of what they would like
Oh,
to?
I'm sorry, I
Oh,
guess we
go
skipped over
forward.
that, didn't we? Oh, we were talking about it.
All right, if you do, I'd like to continue, before chairman's report on the agenda to give you a time, if you have an idea or want, us to look into something as a commission, to be able to put that in, on the board. So I like that, so we continue with that one. And thank you, Jane and Rob, for this strategic plan thoughts. All right, entertain a motion to adjourn. Anyone?
I'll make the motion.
Oh,
Second that.
in your second, all right. All in favor, I'm sure we'll say aye. Aye,
I
Aye.
all right, thank you.
Adjourn.